Dom Lowell accused of misconduct yet again. And High Court upholds NRF bill. I am Rico Beaufort, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. Minister Nigel Dildo Dom Lowell is in hot water yet again. This time he's being investigated for the latest in a string of inappropriate comments and interactions he's had with women over the years. This time Dom Lowell has been accused yet again of assaulting a teenage girl after reportedly grooming her for quite some time. According to reports, the child had sent a letter to the president detailing the illegal things Dom Lowell had allegedly did to her. The president then shared that letter to the education minister, who then met with the child. While it is unclear at what point Dom Lowell became aware of the accusations, the child's letter was leaked on social media late last week. And by Saturday evening, reports began to surface that Dom Lowell had allegedly paid the victim's family 10 million Guyana dollars for her to recant the story and to sign a paper saying as such. But heavy social media attention forced the president to allow the police and the Child Care Protection Agency to get involved. Meanwhile, Dom Lowell chose to retain the services of none other than Nigel Magic Numbers Hughes to represent him. Hey man, he's publicly dissed on Facebook numerous times. Hughes has denied all allegations against his client, and after multiple days of public condemnation, the president has finally sent Dom Lowell on leave to allow for an investigation. Red Thread, a women and children rights advocacy organization, criticized the politicization of the incident and called for the best interests of the child to be prioritized, while the Amerindian People's Association blasted the administration on what they felt was a slow response and demanded an independent investigation. Meanwhile, the opposition is demanding that Dom Lowell be ordered to step down outright. If you ask me, I believe Dom Lowell should have been in jail years ago. From flashing guns in people's faces to exposing himself to unsuspecting women, he is clearly undeserving of the title Honorable in front of his name. He is merely one of many individuals in this nation and even this world who have hidden behind their power to exploit the most vulnerable citizens, our children. Now, this isn't political. This isn't even limited to Guyana. This is just common sense. Just leave the children alone. And if you feel that I'm being too harsh or opinionated because he shares the same politics as you, don't argue with me, argue with your birth giver. Because it's that type of slackness and dotish mentality that made this world deteriorate into the cesspool we call our current reality. So, now I'll step off my soapbox and move to the next story. GWI has opened bids for the construction of 6 potable water wells in Regions 9 and water supply systems in Regions 1 and 2. Bids for these projects must be submitted by the end of the month and will be conducted through the National Committee bidding procedures. The estimated cost for the construction of the wells in Regions 9 is $17 million each, while the estimated cost for water supply systems in Regions 1 and 2 is $15 million each. Inmates at Mazaruni Prison have harvested 242 pounds of cabbage, 245 pounds of boulanger, pineapples, and 235 pounds of chicken from the prison farm as part of the agricultural rehabilitation program offered by the Guyana Prison Service. The program aims to create a self-sustaining food supply and boost agricultural production across the 5 prison farms, with recent efforts focused on meeting the needs of the prison population in the coming years. You know, if it's anything about improving the prisoners, I'm going to talk about it. So, good stuff, guys.
Attention truck owners. Between potholes, bad drivers, and high fuel prices, you've got 99 problems to deal with. But with Powered Automotive, your engine ain't one. That's because they stock high-quality parts and spares you need at prices you can't beat. Visit them at Lot 491 EE Eccles, or call or WhatsApp them at telephone number 6970171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. Tired of waiting on hold, tracking down a delivery driver, or carrying cash for your food orders? GTEats is here to make your life easier. Guyana's first cashless food ordering and delivery app. Choose from Georgetown's top restaurants, pay securely with your card, and get your food delivered right to your doorstep. With the convenience of being able to order from your phone and the added feature of tracking your order, GTEats is the ultimate solution for all your food needs. Download the app on Apple and Android stores and start ordering the easy way today.
Now for crime news. Several people have been punished under the Wildlife Conservation and Management Act for attempting to smuggle songbirds out of Guyana. They are Harker Bin Lata, who was fined $1 million for transporting 15 songbirds to Canada, Sinarain Rampashord, who was sentenced to 6 months in prison for carrying 3 songbirds to New York City. David Passard fined $300,000 for having 6 songbirds en route to New York City. Derek Singh fined $750,000 for carrying 8 songbirds to Barbados. Deochand Dhanraj fined $700,000 for being caught with 6 songbirds heading to New York. Lakeisha Brown fined $500,000 for transporting 15 songbirds to New York. The Guyana Wildlife Conservation and Management Commission encourages anyone wishing to export wildlife to obtain the necessary licenses and permits to do so. 47-year-old Venezuelan national Ion Hernandez tragically lost his life during a dispute with his son in their home in Sofia on Sunday. The incident occurred over an argument about food and resulted in Hernandez being stabbed in the back of his left thigh, allegedly by his 20-year-old son, who suffers from a mental illness. The suspect was apprehended shortly after the incident, and the murder weapon was recovered from his possession. The family of Terrence Washington, who was brutally attacked and killed a month ago, is accusing members of the police force of demanding a substantial sum of money to solve the case. The family has provided information about the suspect's whereabouts, but claim that the authorities have refused to take action. During the funeral, a detective approached Washington's mother, demanding a payment of $300,000 in exchange for apprehending the suspects. The grieving family is pleading for justice and expressing their deep anguish over the loss of Washington. Now for today's oil update. The High Court upheld the validity of the Natural Resources Fund Act, which was passed in December 2021 despite controversy. The case filed by the parliamentary opposition challenging the validity of the act dismissed with cost awarded to the respondents, including Attorney General Anil Nondal. The opposition expressed disappointment and signaled their intention of filing an appeal. The NRF Act was passed after opposition members of parliament protested, dislodging the mace from its position at the desk of the Clerk of the National Assembly. By the way, they still haven't paid their lawyer fees in relation to that case. Anyway, Exxon used a UK-based insurance broker to provide a US $600 million insurance policy for the Starbuck block, which may be a breach of our nation's Local Content Act. The Insurance Association of Guyana claims that the local insurance industry should facilitate all oil and gas insurance policies, and that Exxon's affiliate may have breached the nation's laws by providing a foreign broker. The Local Content Act provides a mechanism for oil and gas insurance premiums to benefit the local economy, but the local industry has been bypassed so far. On a related note, Exxon has enough cash to satisfy all payments within the locally required timeframe, despite having a current ratio of 37%, according to the Vice President, Philip Retema. The company has access to sufficient financial resources from global affiliates to make payments and is able to honor payments within the 30 to 45-day period mandated by the government.
Robbery season might be over, but the streets are still mean. That's why you need to get security for your home or business with Sheriff Security. Sheriff Security has well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, marine patrol, canine services. They speed even our drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest. Now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today.
Now for our Uncut News Fields Poll Question of the Day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Ghana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it plays to us.
But before we get to that, I'm proud to announce our latest addition to the Noble Army, Richard Singh, who is supporting us at the reporter level, the highest level of monthly support we've received so far. So thank you, Richard Singh. And also a special thank you to David Griffith, Dion Nascimento, Project Zero, and Dimitri V. I appreciate you all. And if you're watching at home and you'd like to support our movement, just hit the link in the video description.
Now for tonight's question. How can we encourage more young people to take an active role in preserving their community? I want you to think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and take us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Enrico Bullfoot saying good night, folks.